This may be the strangest sales advice you've ever been given. Stop making sales presentations. I'll explain why I say that in just a minute. Hi, I'm Jeff C. West. I'm the award-winning author of 4 business and sales parables. I have over 30 years of successful sales and leadership experience across multiple industries. I've shared the stage, both in person and virtually, with legends like Bob Burg and Brian Tracy. I know what it takes to help you win in sales and leadership, and I'm here to help you do exactly that. So let's get started. When I'm working with a sales organization, one of the key points that I stress with them is I want them to stop making sales presentations. The reason for that is pretty simple. For most salespeople when they start off, and then still for some as time goes on, the term sales presentation makes them think they're supposed to talk. They're supposed to present the company, present the product, present the services, talk about how great the company is at doing the job. And there comes a point where you are going to be talking and you are going to make recommendations. But for the most part, instead of a sales presentation, what you should actually have is a sales conversation where two people are exchanging ideas and getting information from each other. And it's a much more comfortable way. Plus, it gives you a tremendous way to build fusion points with that prospect. And as you know, if you follow me, fusion points are those moments in time where logic and positive emotion come together in the brain, and it creates a decision, and that decision is to move forward, to be comfortable saying yes to whatever that next step is. Well, if in your sales conversation, you're asking questions and you're focused on the needs of that prospect, what you'll find is it makes them relax with you. It makes them feel like they have a bond with you because they see that you are focused on their needs and how to find a solution for them. Not your company, not your quota, not everything else that goes along in a sales career. And that simple process, by being a great conversationalist, by asking questions and listening to good answers, that process alone helps create a positive emotional response in your prospect. So then later, when you make your recommendations and you ask them if they're to take that next step, that will connect with the logic of what they're trying to solve, with the good feelings they have about you, and you'll find that the number of people who say yes goes up. Now, in today's video, we're going to talk about the parts of the sales conversation. You know, in the sales conversation itself, I don't believe necessarily in scripting what you do. Although there are times where you do need to know key phrases and you need to know them so well that they don't sound like something you learned, they sound like something you invented. But there are certain key points that you'll have, and I call this a structured improvisation. So the parts of the sales conversation that I recommend is this. First part, rapport section, where you're going to quickly establish a relationship, a friendship feeling with that prospect. After the rapport section will come the discovery phase. The discovery phase is where you're going to ask specifically crafted questions that you have that will get that prospect to openly talk about the issues that they face. And if you do it well, they'll even talk about the solutions they think could work. And guess what? Those solutions are exactly what you have to offer. But what you'll find out, and I say this all the time in training, if you ask the right question, something unique happens. You know, you could tell your prospect, okay, this is what your needs are, this is what your problems are, and we can help you solve that by doing this. And it could all be very true. But early in the sales conversation or in the relationship, if you haven't already earned their trust, if they don't already feel that they know you, like you, and trust you, the things you say are a little bit suspect. But if you ask the right questions and you craft them in such a way that they open up and they discuss these issues, what you'll often find as the prospect says what the prospect needs to hear, and that's much more effective in your sales conversation. After the discovery phase is going to come your recommendation phase, where you are going to go into somewhat of a sales presentation. You'll link it back to what they said previously. You'll show them how what you do solve that issue for them. So you're going to make your recommendations. And that's more of what most people think of as a traditional sales presentation. After the recommendation phase comes the credibility phase, where you establish that your company is really good at what you say you can do, that you've got proof, you've got the company statistics. You need social proof. You need those examples where other customers have said that your company does a great job, or you personally do a great job at handling what you're doing. And then the final stage will be the close. And that's where you're going to ask a question that moves them in that stage from becoming a prospect to becoming your client. It opens that new relationship, or it closes a sale. Now let's talk a little bit more about the rapport section and what you'll do there. Your goal in the rapport section is basically to establish a quick relationship, a quick friendship with your prospect. And the amount of time you'll spend here, it could vary based on how you read the body language, how you read the comments of that prospect. Some people are very open. They'll lean back, they'll visit with you, and they enjoy that interaction. You may spend a little more time with those in the rapport section. You'll get others that you can tell they're closed off, they've got a stern look, their arms are crossed, or whatever, and they don't want to spend that much time in rapport. So let's talk just a little bit about the questions you may ask during that rapport section. If it's someone that your gut tells you they don't want to spend a lot of time in this area, your rapport questions are probably going to be more business oriented about that, how long they've worked there, that kind of thing. If your gut tells you that they are open to visiting a little bit, then your questions may be more along the personal side. How long have you lived in this area? Where are you from? That kind of thing. What are your hobbies? There's an old acronym that's been around for years called FORM. And it's FORM. So if you ask questions about their family, about their occupation, how long they've been doing it, the recreational activities, that kind of thing, it tends to get people talking. You want to ask the questions and let them talk, because the more you do that, the better conversationalist they will believe you are. And in the FORM acronym, the M is for message. And that's when you start to take it into the actual sales conversation, or into your discovery phase, where you're going to be asking some key business questions. So as you're going through this week, think about your rapport section. Think about how you're doing it now. Are there changes you could make? Are there better questions you could ask? If your questions get the other person talking and feeling good about your visit, you have asked the right questions. So I'll see you on our next video. Hey, if you're liking the videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button below. Hit that thumbs up, and even share it. Share the video on your social media channels. Help other salespeople find the training. I think they'll enjoy it. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.